weeks after I was born, Albert Einstein passed away. But Albert Einstein left fascist Nazi Germany. Yeah. We got a type of mind hack here on YouTube and stuff of people spinning you to go against Prime Minister Pierre Trump, all sorts of stuff. You know, I call a spade, and everything I can see right through it. Now, I'm not talking to you about environmentalism. I'm talking to you about the economy. Not just being used against you. This is not economy. And this is what I'm firing the CMHA and the health department for. I'll probably sue the calling, but I'm going to see if I can do a litigation. Sue them. I got to get them off my dick. They're just putting up with stuff. I've had my property stolen by a bunch of crooks. And I'll find a way. I finally got this thing's not charged. But here, this is not. You can't use food banks for 5 years. I'm getting sick. I'm weak. So I can't even get anybody to help me here because it's a me place. People are poor. Why? Well, there's certain people. The big boys are getting rich. Little boys are getting poor. It's conservative. PC. It's the worst damn thing. This time was a good economic balance of businesses. So what caused it to go out? Oh, the PCs, they were progressives are not good parties. The worst damn thing. And what you're hearing on here is just lies. I've lived a long life. My dad was a liberal. And I've heard a lot of lies, like, oh, God. They were deleting the archives. I think I'm bringing in some balance here. Right now, I'm not thinking as a Green Party member. I'm thinking as the point of saving Canada is unity. And, for example, I want to run an e-business. And I can't even run it the way we're divided up. We could I got drop shipping business. I can make quite a bit of money. You know, the only thing I can do is get my Australian citizenship, which I'm doing because I can't do it here. I can't sit here and not eat garbage. So I got a place up in Ottawa. I'll get up more money. He's telling me, oh no, you'll go homeless. I don't want to go homeless. I got a phone. I pay for the phone. He says, then you get rid of those apps. He knows I'm going to have him fired. He might be fired again. He's lost his wife. He's a nice guy. You got to watch the nice guys. He's stupid. You can't have stupid people working with you and handing you garbage. This stuff is not what to eat. It's not. I want fruit. I want vegetables. I want to be a vegan now. I am 100% vegan hippie. Up there, I'm going Aussie. I'm fed up with Canada. Our taboos are sick. We can't even talk politics. Respectfully, Australians talk politics. There's a few things I don't like in Canada. And I like our honor of our military. I've never seen that. I'm not seeing it much now. Because the PCs are a piece of poo-poo. If they were right, and I was listening to things, like she came out there and she said, they need more money. Yeah, they need help too. We need to change our healthcare system. And one thing is not to go around telling veterans. We got charity for our vets. We get them right clinicians. It's the damn government. This healthcare system doesn't work. It's the worst damn thing I've ever seen. My mother was an Australian Army nurse. She worked there. And can I tell you something? When you're in Papua New Guinea and you got Japanese bombing, you can survive that. But you can't survive these isms that don't work right. They don't work right. How many Canadian doctors and nurses are burning out? Well, she burned out. She had a breakdown, like a lot of nurses are having. And I'm seeing it deteriorate at an alarming rate. I've never seen the lack of compassion in this, because the psychological model of the Lobster King shooting has to end, because there's other psychological models of positive psychology that brings back into an emotional intelligence. That's why I don't like Jordan Peterson. I don't like his agenda and his climate denying and his stupid new hairstyle. Buddy, don't call me Buddy. I'm not a guy yesterday there. He's an old boy like me. He's also a rock and roll pianist and a sensible man. Plays piano and rock bands, and we talk a lot about music. He's rode a lot of horses. So he goes on the dude ranch, 2 kiddos. And how many women have I had in my life? I feel like Robin Williams sometimes. Quite a few good looking women. I'm 80. Am I proud of my life? Well, I think I've done wrong. It's been an experiment that wasn't right. But the humility came in, and with love and self-compassion, I dump out self-esteem. Because living alone in a room for about 5 years is awakening. I don't need no drugs. I hear the voice and that's wrong, that's right. No, I heard another voice with the self-compassion. So these are just tethers up to learning things. I lived in Ottawa when Pierre Elliott Trudeau was there. That was a man. And all I hear now is, Boomer, don't give me attitude. There's no stoicism in being a man now. And then I hear too soft, and things are falling apart. Too strong, you're a monster. There's a psychology I've been studying that isn't anything to do with God or anything. It's a sensualist, stoic system of self-compassion, self-love, instead of this misinformed self-esteem. And that's where we're falling apart. And we're so friggin' righteous on everything, you know. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. So I re-examine it. I've come down to going from green to liberal right now. What? I gotta think about what's wrong with Canada. Our economic model is garbage. Free market is causing me to starve in an area that has lost its infrastructure. Strikes are bad in some ways because everybody wants more instead of listening to corporate management. It might not be so bad. And that's what happened. Bob Ray came out. He said he knew the economics. He was an NDP. But nobody wants to work one day free. That's all right. You chose. These old bastards around here and ask me for beer. They're all Bob Ray. And ones that wouldn't vote for Bob Ray. The ones that went on strike. And the businesses went out here. If I'm wrong, I don't talk to a partisan person. I talk to the Ontario Ombudsman. So I'm doing a lawsuit against the county. Yeah. I found, I wrote it right down here. How are you going to do that, Grace? Well, I'm going to use the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I wrote down a number here for stopping this tribunal. He let me sit here and they build up a tribunal instead of talk to me. Why are you not paying rent? This. So I found the problem. Fire him and fire every healthcare provider here. That doesn't work. I don't want Salvation Army. I'm out of here in a bus. He says, you might go homeless. No. Buddy, I paid for my share on keeping my cloud base and keeping my ink in order. Buddy. And when I get on here and I say, don't vote for Appalachia, and you call me champ, go for it, buddy. Go for it, champion, because a stupid mule will buy that. This is ruining our country. We got no choice. We got to vote him out with just one vote. If you don't, that's up to you, because I'm denouncing Canadian citizenship for years of garbage. I've had the medical systems corrupt, the mental health system. They never looked at who I was. So I became an international therapist. And what am I for? I just don't believe in psychiatry of the traditional form. Well, am I anti-psychiatry? I read Dr. Abraham Hoffer, and I got well using those methods. Yeah, that was pretty good because I had a doctor. Yeah, the Ivory Tower people are everywhere. I had he was using that technique of niacin. What they did with him? Some across the Buffalo. He had to go way down to Buffalo in the United States. There's a big farmer racket here, man. Yeah, they come in and they say, oh, that's bad for you. Oh, and the food quality and going to agricultural college and quitting because I saw the way they farm. This is a machine system. You know, we got groups going out there for what we call animal rights and justice on the way farm animals are treated. Let's take a look at this. We got industrial agriculture. Well, commodity market systems. That's the kicker there. So what you do is you get away from anything that will prevent grassroots economy. And that's progressive conservative. Where did I find that? Well, look at what they're doing. That's a nice town there in Alberta. They're taking municipal ridings apart. What's going on? It's warmongering, fascism. That was, what's that town called? It's beautiful there. Chestermere. It's outside of Calgary. But they want to self-govern, and they should. I didn't see that city doing anything wrong. You tell me, Smith, what were they doing wrong? Nice community. It was laid out nice. And I was in Strathmore. It's a nice community. It's cold. Why are Albertans just living out into Saskatchewan up there in Lloyd, Westminster? I have a friend there in Alberta. He was with the Alberta Wild Horses. He was, I haven't talked to him, but I saw him when I was up in Bonnyville. I was in these videos. Oh, there he is. He's in Lloyd, Westminster. He's retired. Ken McLeod, really nice man. Going out there and do it with the Alberta Wildies researching. You did a lot of good work there, Ken. I really thank you. Um, I'm going to tell you something. With horses, I think we need to get back to studying in their wild state and understanding the feral behavioralism because we're getting it into their true nature, even though we're the Spanish El Caprende, the Mustang. We Our models of research are just wokey. They're too much into ivory towers. I listen to them, but nobody puts them together. I've worked with a professor of marine biology who came up with a simple the whales in the St. Lawrence were running aground. That the others were doing this research, and they had minesweepers that said they run aground. But we sort of got people in there to do some autopsies of these whales, and then we got it back then when the University of 1981, McGill University students came aboard. Chemical students, oh welcome, took water samples, DDT toxins in the ocean. Interesting. DDT was never discovered to be a bad thing until we had a great woman that had a little touch of knowledge in chemistry, but she was a damn good journalist. Rachel Carson. What was that? Not Silent Spring. But it took a lot of years to get people to question that. So I'd like you to do this. Read books and look at a bibliography. There's no friggin' bibliography in anything. I can push out the tooth fairy exists, and you'd believe it. A fact is a fact. An opinion is no facts. But now we're into controversy. New word, controversy. Could it mean a fact? And I'm listening to you, what you're explaining, and the way you're pointing fingers at Justin. Justin had to get out, yeah, and step down. You know what he did? He did a lot of good, I think. But to repair the damage that yo-yo called Stephen friggin' Harper. Do I like him? No, he should be in jail. But, they're letting everybody out. That's the way the healthcare system works. We've got epidemic anger on the road of young people. Do I hate them? No. I feel we got a lost generation. And these spin cases of saying they're economists and they're just, they're ivory tower greed. That's all they are. They don't want to let go. Let go, and let somebody else have some money. You might make more money in a sustainable way, but you might not live too long. Like you think living, here's what I noticed. I'm 70. I plan to live, and I'm not going to live in Canada. I don't go to a nursing home. I was building a business. So where am I? You don't know what I got under my cards. It's a card game. But you're judging me with not knowing what's inside me. You don't know I've got pretty resilient going homeless. Jerry Singer did too. No, Michael Singer. I've been homeless because of corruption. One of the laws in Canada is we have the right to housing. So I'll use that. Charter rights and freedom. They stole my home, my family. Why? Because they're yuppies. And they never, I'll tell you what I came from. You might hate me. I came from hard work. I worked when I was a child. My parents came from a time when there was gold in the bank, and things fell apart. 1929 stock market crash. They survived through it. My father survived World War One. Pretty resilient. Did he ever hit me? No, didn't have to. He had horsey ways. He was a horseman. I don't beat horses and I don't beat you, but they beat me with a bad economic system called junk. What I think of Salvation Army doesn't work. What I think of the way other provinces are doing things, they got young people growing food and providing food to people, not putting food. What are they putting here? More cars, road aggregate to draw in more customers. Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you'll look at a location, right? How many people can you draw into an area? Me? I'm going to Australia. I'm moving up the Tambourine Mountains. It's a very spiritual spot. And of course, I'll keep a healthcare plan. It's called Medicare, not this universal stuff that's not working. It was good at one time, and it's not good anymore. Nurses are burning out. My mother never burned out until she came to Canada. I don't know. Having Japanese zeros flying over, snakes hanging from roofs, she saved lives. Yeah. Surviving the flattening of Port Darwin. And this was really good. Because I told a guy about it. He says, no, it didn't happen. The Battle of the Pacific never happened. He said, I was there. I didn't see it. What were you doing? Smoking whack? No, I've come up with a book on this. So I got talking. Just the way conspiracy theory gets going. Really interesting. He says, if your mother was there, she must have been born in 1913. Wow, you got that right. Oh no, that blew my whole theory up. And another thing is I'm a age gap product of a very large age gap. Did it work? They died, but I never got divorced. There's a lot of love there. There's a lot of balance. So that's another age gap garbage thing that's going on. I get young women hitting on me and they're demonizing me, these young guys. Well, maybe you should be a mentor. Maybe you can be a gentleman and learn to talk to women right. Instead of saying stupid things like, you must have a lot of money. Buy me a friggin' beer, boy. All you rich old boys are attracting girls. No, because we make them comfortable when we talk to them. And sometimes I'm doing it just for the charity in my heart because some of those girls are messed up. They're messed up by this rotten YouTube that has to be regulated. Misogyny has to end on here. If it doesn't, it's boycott time. But is YouTube the problem? No, it's the form, it's the message. Misogyny has to end. Jorgen Peterson's guy, get off Facebook, YouTube. I'm off Facebook and I'm helping people. And I don't like him at all. And I don't have to fucking like him. See, I'm angry. That's Stoicism. I don't like Jorgen Peterson. I don't like Rex Murphy. They're oil mongers. I never did like Rex Murphy. But then I was into the place where they were winning. And they got that friggin' Harper, and then I saw all the crap going down. I've lived long enough to see BS. And he's a liberal supporter and a journalist. Boy, you put a lot of humor into that. of your analogy of the foundation of your life was when you started working in horse racing. You got to start with a shovel and pitchfork, get garbage out of the barn, or it gets above you. Well, that's what's happened. The whole healthcare system's deintegrated. Just keep going. Just keep her going. Keep funding her. Fund her up. Fund her a place, and she'll get votes for the sick and medicated. But that's not making economic sense. And is it the fault of the system? No, it's the way we treat ourselves. We allow things to go on and on and on. I'm taking a friggin' stand. I'm doing litigation to get out of Canada, renouncing citizenship because it's such a mess. That healthcare system I don't want. I don't want public health. I don't want my own private medical packages. You know, when I went through that COVID, I didn't see anybody doing anything, right? Just yelling at each other, I'm going to die. Or I don't believe in COVID. And I mean, I've never seen so much BS. And recovery, your economic recovery, you're still holding on to it. You're so mad. And where was the anger coming from? The funnel. Mark Zuckerberg's YouTube, Facebook. I was saying, why are you saying F Trudeau? And he was so mad he couldn't talk. He was showing me fighting police when they put the COVID virus in. Where else has this happened? In New Zealand. Did you see that? I didn't know why she had stepped down. I'll tell you why. Nobody liked her, shut down the virus. They shut her down. A lot of things are going on in Australia with this virus, too. Trying to go from state to state. Endocrinologist, a doctor of it, she's on there and they're fighting it. Conspiracy theories. She stepped down because she had death threats. Boy, that's a civil society. So what we got to learn is uncertainty is always in our air when we come into business. And recovery is a stable economy. We're a mess. I read Margaret Atwood's Payback, and you notice how Peterson's attacking him. Yeah, Joe Brogan and Peterson. Do I appreciate that? No, I don't. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of misogyny on here. And I listen to women that have business skills that you guys don't listen. Even your husbands don't listen. I know we have an edge of, I think like a man. But am I a female? No. I appreciate women. And whether they've got education, I don't go and say, oh, no. And sometimes I listen to Gen Z girls and they're getting ideas. They're showing a lot of resilience for this stuff. They're trying to figure things out themselves. They got off social media. We can learn from everybody. You don't have to have the paper degree if you have one. We got to spot you. It's good to have education, but we got to see where you're standing. Are you in an ivory tower? And that's what's wrong with healthcare. Ivory tower systems. It could be better. Integration. But you can't have integration when everybody's in an ivory tower, paid, pocket lined, or ideologies of everything. Isn't it funny? He talks about the getting rid of the archetypical ideologies, Peterson. But he is an ideology. You know, it's funny. Some people are starting to think he's controversial again. Oh, the slippery slope. I'm running down Dr. Jorgen Peterson. I'm running down Rex Murphy, Joe Brogan, and a lot of morons. I can be intelligent, but you know, when I look at U of T, other professors have given up their faith. They don't want to be there because they're maybe not using those intellectual rubbish models and climate denying. And where's this climate denying coming from? About 1980s, they started coming out with it to defend the right of it. Now, we're unfortunately stuck on this because we had these guys intellectually coming out with a pseudoscience called climate denying. And they were flooding the market. And then we had a thing called, we used to be counterculture. Cancel culture came up. We cancel anybody that says gas and oil or the derivatives not being in the climate. Ralph Nader right through. I don't think Ralph Nader was wrong. I don't think any of them were wrong. And I look at the weather because I lived in 1955 and I grew up. I've never seen climate like this. I've traveled Canada and it's weird weather. Okay? But stupid girl goes out there and says, no climate change. Look at it. Snow's coming down, but what period? It's cold. I've seen the barrier reef. It's coming back. Jordan's right. But let's go back to a news clipping on here. I'll put it on 1974. Farley Moore. He said humans are defective species. Pretty blatant. Storing energy at large amounts. And what did he say? What Jordan Peterson says, third screen. Because, yeah, it is. It has its own intrinsic balance. It doesn't have Keynesian economics. It works in the universe. It works with the planet. So it's righting itself. But what's the second thing he said? We're destroying ourselves with this economy. I'm not eating. There'll be a lot of dead people eating this stuff. And anybody that tells me it's good food. There's never been a good food system in the integration of this healthcare. Never. Hospital food's terrible. You can't tell me that. That's what I'm again. I think maybe the COVID virus, we locked it down. We did get rid of it. That research was good. But as far as hospitals go, it's just a bucket of horrible garbage. But it's not as horrible as the Salvation Army and no box stores. You gotta limit them. Problem 2, traffic flow. You limit the traffic flow down that you have enough. If you had more integration of e-business, you could do drop shipment sales, everything, and have more things on the boat. Listen, who I talk to, well, he's got more money than Kevin O'Leary. He makes sense. He's told me don't go to the States. It's crashing. I look around, I look at the banks crashing. But, they just keep them afloat. And he's working on a gold economy. He's still a Canadian citizen. He's got his own health care. He lives in San Jose. He's got billions. He's just a little younger than me, but he's a handsome guy. He flies a Learjet. He flies a private jet everywhere. So you're going to argue, well, he's using energy. Private jets fly at 70,000 feet. They're not using that much energy. So we can get into it. And he's got comfort and he can go anywhere in the world. 70,000 feet is not SpaceX. And private jets are a good way to get around. You know, if I rode a motorcycle, I might be cutting down the fuel costs. Hey. I get money out of this. I'm getting a motorcycle. I can live up in Queensland on a motorcycle easy because I still got the license. Yeah, and I got a good driving record now because I gave up driving because of the cost of fuel. I just sold the car. I didn't sell my driver's license. And then I look at things very open-mindedly. Maybe the hydrogen right now is too expensive in Melbourne, right? So we have a multi-fuel source system for truck transport. I'll go with that. I'll go for it for another thing. Biofuels were produced by diesel. Remember that? Remember that? Diesel produced the biofuel. They could run farms on runoff of tractors and stuff. Biotechnology. So I've read a lot of books on biofuel. There is an argument. If you haven't got the land or you can't produce, well, I'll tell you, there's all sorts of fuels that were running farms. Manure is producing energy. They had them up in Ontario. Did you know that? The damn farm was self-empowered. It was a dairy operation. So it's not running on biofuel. It's not running on the overfunded grid system because it could crash. It's running on manure, dung. So it's a Stompin' Thompson. So here's the infrastructure that doesn't make sense. I'm producing a lot of electricity. Can I sell you? Maybe give me. Can I send some money, energy for the grid? Yeah, but you got to put a line in. That's $150,000. So what do you invest in? Riding up on the backs of and putting money down on real estate market like this? If you were my daughter, I'd have a talk to you maybe. I don't care if you're 28, 30, it's not a good method. Why, Dad? Maybe I'll get a pen and paper out and show you why. But you can come in here and tell me that's good. And then, young lady, you might be talking about cryptocurrencies. And I might be pointing to value. Value. What are you buying? Where can you put the money? I might throw a book at you by another woman. I'm meeting young women that try. And they get good values. But the covert put them out. Now they're smoking dope and got a daughter and they think they can't make it. It's like your world fell apart. So what if I gave you the book, Marianne Williamson's Divine Compensation? So, young lady, I'd tell you this, your business fell apart. What if I told you maybe you're getting a lesson in being resilient and learning and using this beautiful mind that you have? Once you forgive yourself for falling and just say, that's just the way she went, the cookie crumbled. Do it again. Get up. Right. Because that's the resilience of equestrian. That's the resilience of an equestrian rider. You'll fall down, you'll get up. If you don't get up, you won't get up. So that's one of my philosophies about life. I've fallen off horses quite a bit. I've been kicked. I've been bit. And I realize these animals are being misused. So I had to come to a new approach. Watch his ears. Do I have to beat him? No. Do I have to put a no? You're not going to hurt me. And my friend does this. Look how ridiculous this is. He's up and he's a whisperer, like Monty Raw, like, and he uses a balloon with a stick. But the fashion industry comes in there, and he says they ask stupid questions. What's the stick supposed to be made of? What color balloon? See, we're putting a lot of mind hack of the fashion industry in there. Who decides what you wear and who you are and what you be? Yeah, who decides? Fashion industry. So we're screaming freedom. And the fashion industry says, you gotta wear this. It's the latest trend. I'm not a trendy kid. I'm not trendy. I wear what's comfortable. And I'm back to Henry David Thoreau. Right now I'm wearing something I pretty well get free. It's called, these fleece pants are from a company called Trader Joe Fresh. They're a subsidiary of Bank of Commerce, President's Choice. Every time I spend money on that, I get points. Go in the store and I say, well, you want them? Yeah. You got so many points there because you're spending money on that account. And they say, just tap the card again. If your iWatch or whatever, bing. You got those close $40 for points every year, month coming in. That's my personal account. And I hook it to my iWatch. Yeah. Because I found things weren't kicking through on certain things. We only take MasterCard. No, I had a MasterCard and wasn't kicking through. Yeah, wasn't kicking through. But internationally, I can make things work. And just put on my phone on an iWatch. Like, I got a company there. I don't have a credit score here to get an iWatch, but I can build up with Algray. Damage not charged. Simple. I use Demistas. I'm gonna make money with drop shipment sales. But nobody figures this out. Nobody tells me. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I have to look at things. Oh, look what you found. You know, that found another wholesaler in the work you do. These are income streams. So what did he tell me? He was using an old model called Napoleon Hill said, write it down. And he gave me a workbook. How many income streams can you have? Quite a few. This is some basic technology. You got to have ways to make money on top of that. So I went in there and I'm looking up my thing. I'm going to ask you, elders, to keep your mind sharp. And don't listen to we all got dementia, because you don't. I want you to live long and help these young people get their head together and not go around and just live on your pension. You can leave Canada, you could. But if you can mentor people, any country you love. Of course, I don't like oil fascism, so I'm going to mentor in Australia. And under the law of the country. I'm not under the law of Mark Zuckerberg and his community standards. So do I miss social media? Well, I put value into my life. I want peace. Do I watch the news all the time? I got rid of that years ago. I just look at the weather and it's not too good, but then I look it up with AI, ask questions, look at my life here. It's messy because he brings in mess, so I got to fire him. He comes in for about, and his boss says, no, don't do anything. Just dump junk, garbage out, and tell him he's wrong. Don't make that. I didn't want to come here. I didn't. I just thought I'd be here, but I kept on listening to this kid. I kept on. That's what we do here. We get on here and listen to a bunch of rubbish, and we can't discern, assimilate, or anything. And unfortunately, something happened to me. My creativity just jumped ahead because I started learning the psychology of creativity. You gotta be creative to get out of this sort of bucket. And another thing is, these tribunals are against me. And he's not doing anything to stop it. I got a stop point. I put a plug in on. I got legal aid. So it might be more money than I ever thought. Because once I make that money, I'm paying companies and I'm having exploratory looks at things and I'm suing them for how much? As much as I can get. And I'm going to use tax consultants to get the money into Australia because I saw a house up there I'd like. 5,900,000. Could I do it? Well, if we read and what would I do with it? I'd make a profit out of it. I'd have a retreat there. It's beautiful. It's got lots of rooms and a studio for music. And that area would be good for venues and just me going in there with a bit of gear and playing in the restaurants and clubs up there. It's nice, soft music. I got a little PA there. I got a mixer and I'm building it. Now, when I get to Ottawa, I got a multifaceted thing. These things have got to be updated. I'll send it to the archives. I got another pair of medals there. So he thinks it's just a one-trick pony. Well, I looked in my box there. And there's another place to stay. To the May it's open May the. When I get up there, I probably can get some money coming in. I'm hooking up. He says you go homeless. No. I found that temporal living, and it's as long as I stay a month. Yeah, and it's a little bit more money, but I can get food. I found food sources. Why? I use AI everywhere. And I got to get to Carlton. No, I got to get to formulate this. Build the business. It's e-commerce. They kept on distracting. And the problem is I'm not in the tourism industry. That's one trick pony here. So that might be the problem. Every young person that's living in this area is taking hospitality management. Good course. But they're all immigrants. And I'm not against them. But it was a problem for me. Because they were profiting on what? She said, you hung up on me. Yeah, because you're not giving me what I want to hear. I was getting madder, but you were giving all the places out, you little bitch, to make money on immigrants, students. I'm a senior. You never know how to talk to me respectfully. Well, that's rude. She called me back. Oh, rude. Click. Hung up. I'm trying to help you. You're not helping me. You're just making me mad. He says he's helping me. Now he's insulting me with that junk. See, you got to know that there's a point when a man knows something, he doesn't need to listen to hoggy wash. And I've had companies come to me. Everyone wants to get into this. What do you call it? I'm into essential oils, crystals, and gemstones, and jewelry, and market. I can see how I can lever it up. There's a woman up there, and I need jewel makers in gold, so I can get gemstones in there. But this is crazy. You got to look at what you got. So I got a gemstone company down there, international. I got another company that I can get grids made of citrine, beautiful grids and designs. So Greg's crazy with it. I'm building a beautiful system. Maybe I'm not crazy. I'm having a lot of women that are artists and musicians saying you're going to have a lot of money. Well, that was encouraging. She's a singer-songwriter. I got a feeling that you're going to have a lot of money. I don't know. I feel that. I've had 3 women say that. Guys, they question everything. Well, living long and seeing and going through and really getting down that you've gone through a lot of problems, but they say you haven't because they're in the ivory towers. And that's a perspective of neurolinguistics that you can't understand. So I really don't buy into that crap. Oh, that's a horrible world, Greg. Well, I needed help here. So what they do? Even in Calgary, they have a housekeeper come in. 55 plus. Not here. So I know the truth. And I know another thing. The nice guy was there. He died. Why? Too much work. You can't run these places. And I had a feeling about this place. And they said it's just a place to live. Well, there's other places to live, and that's hotels and motels that got kitchenettes. Because this is on a substandard. And I can live well that way. No fixed address. Do I need a fixed address? Well, they'll tell me I do for mailbox. No. Our mail can be mailed to any place I go to and forwarded. Canada Post has a mail forwarding box. And everything comes in by email. They don't look at anything. I have to do research. And I got thinking, how did I learn research? Well, it was a good part of my program to them make out. And they said, don't read it because it's in a book. I want you to go and back it up with research. And it made me a researcher. And then I think every conspiracy theorist out there, because I started looking at how a conspiracy is made, how research is made. Am I intelligent? That's up to the God to judge. You might say I'm an idiot. We'll see. I really hate Canada right now because of those stupid